Hey guys, Mike here, Grinding Gears Garage. Getting ready to work on our project Blaster. We're going to be pulling the engine out. If you look back in our videos, I'll put the link right here. We did a leak down test on this Blaster and we have a bad case seal. Now the case on our Blaster does not have a seal actually. There's actually something Yamaha recommends called Yamabond. It's their form of case sealer. So we're going to pull the engine out of the bike. We're going to do a full rebuild on it. Probably going to end up having to do a new piston and fresh hone on the bore. We did a compression test. It came out to 120 psi, I believe. It's a little low. So we're going to put a fresh piston in it with a fresh bore, excuse me, so we can get better compression, have a fresh motor for this when we sell it. So follow along today and we're going to be pulling this thing out, disassembling it in the next video, rebuilding it in the video after that, and then reinstalling in our final. So this will be a 4-part segment. So thanks for watching guys, and let's get started. So first things first, we're going to start off on a few easy ones. Took our bolt out of our shifter. It's a 10 millimeter, and then the shifter pops right off. It took a little bit of work to get ours out, but it's not too bad. Next, we're going to grab a screwdriver, pop our master link out, and get the chain off the motor. And we're going to start taking off our accessories. So we grabbed our screwdriver around the back side here. There is our master link. And take our screwdriver and pop it right off. You're going to save that. Take your outer plate off. And then go ahead and push the master link through. Your chain pops right off, and go ahead and remove our chain completely from the bike. And voila, chain's free from the motor. We're going to put our master link back together and set it off to the side. And then we're going to grab some more hand tools and we're going to finish taking apart our accessories and pull the motor. So first things first, we took our nut off. It's 12 millimeter, holds our clutch cable on. Just gonna pop this right off of the stud in the engine. Now we pulled it right out. The barb slides right out of your clutch. Clutch cable now can be drooped off to the side. We're gonna tuck ours right into the frame there. Now we're ready to go ahead and we're going to take our spark plug wire off. It's a 13/16. We'll pull our spark plug out so you get a little clearance over the head. We already had our carburetor removed for our leak down test and our air box. So you want to go ahead and remove them. You need a Phillips screwdriver, sorted wrenches to pull your air box out. Once that's out of the way, we're going to take our seat off as well. Set that off to the side. Our rear fender, which isn't bolted in yet. Set that off to the side too. It gives us a lot more space, a lot of daylight, so you can see what's going on. We're gonna disconnect our fuel, push our carburetor off to the side, then we're gonna start getting ready to pull the engine out. You're going to need to remove your header, which is held in by one spring, which is tied to your header pipe, and then you're going to need to uncouple your exhaust. Ours is held in with an HPM coupler. Hit them up on Facebook, they make a fantastic exhaust coupler. So we just need a screwdriver to remove that. We're going to leave our silencer in place. It's not going to be in our way at all. So once you get your header pipe out and your spark plug removed, your carburetor, and you unplug your flywheel, we actually are going to have to cut ours. The plug was removed by a previous owner, so we're going to have to cut it, and we're going to have to probably solder the wires back together when we're all done. So that's unfortunate. The Stacons that are in here are for the other wires. It was all butt spliced together, so we're going to have to redo the harness. It was done really, really badly, but that's another project in itself. So yours should have a plug up here inside the wiring loom that you can unplug all of the connectors. And then once that's unplugged, that's pretty much everything holding your motor to the frame besides the mounting bolts. So we're gonna finish removing a few little things, ready to pop the engine out. So we cut our harness apart. We actually got lucky. Four out of our 5 wires in our harness have removable connectors. So as you can see, the wires match. White with a red stripe goes to white with red. Yellow with red goes to yellow to red. Black is our ground. That goes to ground. And our black with red goes black to red. The only wire that does not, unfortunately, is this green to white, but that also goes to ground. I need to double check to see if that is correctly wired. This harness was like this when we purchased the quad, so we need to do some investigation, get a stock wiring diagram just to verify that everything is wired correctly. So we're going to go ahead and undo this, probably snip it. We're not sure what kind of connector is under here, but our stator is actually removed, so we are good to go. We can continue with removing the engine from our blaster. So as you can see with our blaster, your rear engine bolt is tied in with the swing arm. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our jack stand here, and we are actually going to place it on this part of the frame right here, on the back side of the motor. It'll help hold the bike up when we pull that pin, because the swing arm is going to drop, and we hate to see you guys pull that bolt out and do some damage. But your motor's only held in with 3 bolts. Rear bolt here, which is a 22mm head and nut. You have a bolt right down in there, 12mm head and nut, and another one right here, which is 12mm as well. So we're going to pull our rear one first and then work around the front and take our other 2 out. So as you can see, we have our rear bolt removed. We had to grab a long screwdriver and a hammer to knock it out. It was a little tight. While we have everything apart, we're going to put a new chain roller on the outside here. Ours is a little worn, but you may have to do the same with a hammer to drive it out. It may be a little tight. As you can see, ours is rusty. We're going to clean all this rust off and put some Never Seez on it when we reinstall it, so it stays nice and clean. It doesn't corrode and get all gunked up. So now we're going to move on and take our other 2 mounting bolts, the one underneath here, the one on the front, and our motor's ready to pull out. So before we remove our last mounting bolt, we are going to pull out our drain plug, which is a 12mm. We're going to drain the trans fluid out of it, just so when we pull it apart on the bench, we don't have too much of a mess on our hands. So it's just 12mm. We're going to drain it into a water jug that we had laying around. ATF can't be mixed in with oil because it's trans fluid, so we're going to separate it and dispose of it properly. So our blaster engine is out. We were able to pull it out from the left side. It was pretty easy. We did have to put the rear carrier and swing arm up on a jack stand. When we went to pull the motor out, everything kind of swung forward. We were lucky nothing got damaged. We didn't get hurt at all. So that's good. So our engine's out. Thanks for watching this segment. We're going to move over to the workbench. We're going to disassemble. We're going to put all that in a separate video. If we did this all in one, it would be like a 4-hour video. So thanks for watching. Subscribe as always. Stay tuned for our next installment on our Yamaha blaster.